Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at a new map coming to War Thunder, and it is in fact North Holland. By the way, I apologise for not streaming the last few days. I've been pretty ill, some migraines set in, so that's always fun, but hopefully today we'll be back on track. So, what is North Holland? Basically, it's a copy-paste, and this is quite interesting, though, because, we talk about copy-paste quite a lot. There's a part of the community that doesn't like it. There's a part of the community that seems okay with it, depending on different areas. I don't think we've ever had a copy-paste map, though, and that's basically what this is with a different color palette. So what they've said in the first little sentence is we've taken Eastern Europe, one of War Thunder's most popular ground forces maps, according to the number of likes, and created North Holland based on it, set in the Zaandam region. And what they've done is they have given it its own kind of unique set of things that will work around it, but the actual base layer of the map is exactly the same as Eastern Europe. People actually lined it up with Eastern Europe to show how it's exactly the same, which was something mentioned, on the sneak peek streams. And it is kind of interesting to think about how people would react to something like this, because obviously you'll get the set of people who say it's quite lazy, just taking the same stuff over and over again and then just kind of changing the way that it looks. But this map itself does actually have a bunch of unique things to it, and also it's going to be a great source of trolling, because you'll find people who won't like Eastern Europe but will like this map, or will like North Holland and not Eastern Europe, and you'll have a great time asking them questions about why that is. I always find that stuff quite fun. But basically, this map is not a one-to-one scale of European province. There are differences to it, especially like an outlying kind of crop of houses, which is on one of the cap points, and overall, it's one of those things that is slightly different. The sightlines are very different on this map compared to a European province, so that definitely should be kind of looked at. The fact is they've added a ton of stuff to it, which will make it different in play, even though the base is the same. And it kind of shows you how you can take a standard kind of design and change stuff around it and make it a lot different, and some people will enjoy it and some people won't, and I think that's kind of cool. They've also added something that they've really wanted to kind of push forward in the media around this. I don't really know why, but there's this big mall on the map. It's weird because so most of the map is just standard what I'd class as like Dutch landscape and also houses. Nothing's really crazy about it. There's the red light district, of course, and then also there's a bunch of just houses with some nice cars. There's a church. Everything is pretty standard. And then in a very small part of the map, for some reason it's just turned decrepit, and there's a mall which has just died, and there's a few houses which have just been destroyed as well. No idea what by, but yeah, they've just decided that that's the case. Now, this might be a great actual commentary on life at the moment, where malls are dying, and the reason they are dying is because of the fact that people are shopping more online, and therefore, the prices of rent on these places are going up, so it's unsustainable for businesses to stay in them, but I highly doubt that's what's going on. I think somebody went, hey, we should make a mall because you'll be able to go around it and you'll be able to see all the different stuff in it. And that's pretty much what they did. So they made a drivable mall. You can go in it and, you can go into all the different areas. Nothing is really built properly. It's all pretty much destroyed. So that means there's a lot of nooks and crannies that you can sit in and have a bit of fun in. There is a bit of a problem, though. At least on the map that they showed, they're sticking a cap point in that mall. And that's going to be so annoying to deal with. Have you ever played those caps on the maps where you just can't dig people out because you just can't find where they are? Yeah, this is going to be the same as that one. I remember when Alaska first came out, and it still happens today, by the way, on that central cap point, if you are coming from the southern side, you can destroy half of a building in the central cap point, and then you can just sit in that building and you can just sit on the cap, and there's nothing that anyone can do against you until they push around the sides or until they destroy that building, which most people don't do because they don't know about the position. So in a small vehicle, like a light tank, you could just sit there and scout everything and do really well. And that's what's going to happen in this mall as well, even though it's more enclosed. I feel like it's going to be more of an annoyance than anything. They really need to think about certain caps in this game and have a collective kind of cap thing for it. So instead of just whoever got there first and capped it, whoever has more vehicles on the cap should actually cap it. So even if both sides have people on the cap, I think it would be better if one side has more, then they're able to at least decap the zone from the other. Just because you get in situations where stalemates happen a lot, especially on Conquest, and since, you know, they probably want to show off this mall quite a lot, they're going to want to put a Conquest map which only is in the mall. And it's just going to be annoying to try and dig people out of all of the little crevices. Everything else of the map, though, looks very nice and will play pretty decently. You know, as we've talked about many times, stuff like Eastern Europe is a pretty good map, and one of the things about it is no matter what you want to play, what type of vehicle, there is some kind of playstyle that can fit that map. Obviously, there are some which are better than others. You know, you can just beeline to the central area, you can flank around, you can take, you know, scouting positions, whatever it is, it all works very well. And that, to me, is pretty cool. And I think in general, North Holland will offer exactly that. And there are maps recently which they've added which are pretty similar to each other. Stuff like the testing site and Seversk really kind of follow the same patterns. And there are a bunch of maps which are, you know, not exactly symmetrical like this one is, but very, very close. And the question is, are you okay with it? Are you all right with a map which is like that? Are you okay with like a new lick of paint with a standard playstyle? For me, I thought one of the coolest things that they started adding in was seasonal maps, meaning that you had the same map, but it was a different color palette. So instead of just a summer version of a map, you also have a winter version of a map, and also maybe an autumn version and a spring version. They did change the map slightly to give them a different feel, but I think generally that was actually very positive, and I would like to go back to those types of setups. And if we have like similarities in those maps and people enjoy them, is it really a bad thing where they've just kind of copied the same stuff over and over again? For me, I'd say it's okay. I'm not too worried about that setup, but the real question is how other people are going to react to it. Because at the end of the day, maps are one of the most important parts of War Thunder, because they're the things you're going to see way more than many other parts of the game, unless you really like one specific vehicle. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Schnitzel Stroker, Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, B. Young, Opium Prime, Masonocrat, Lafouche, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.